Circumcision is male genital mutilation endorsed by religion, big pharma, and society. The foreskins are sold to biotech companies for up to $1,000 each because they have fibroblasts and stem cells in them which are processed into anti-aging creams, are used to treat burn victims, and help cover diabetic ulcers, among other uses. Are we really cutting off foreskins for anti-aging cream? That seems so cruel and dystopian. What about the boy that had literally no choice in the matter and had a very important piece of themselves cut off at birth? Now the glands of their penis is dried out and less sensitive, which diminishes their sex life and ability to masturbate. Imagine if we cut off the clitoral hood of a baby girl, drying out her clitoris for the rest of her life, which diminished her ability to masturbate and enjoy her body. That's exactly what is happening to boys. Yet it is somehow socially acceptable to offer this barbaric practice. Plus, some people just have their boys circumcised because they think it is more aesthetic. Or it is cleaner. Which is also messed up. And wrong. If we were mutilating little girls' genitals, there would be riots in the streets. But somehow it is socially acceptable to mutilate little boys' genitals. Why did God even want circumcision? We are born naturally with foreskin. Why cut it off? He could have just created us without foreskin. Seems very messed up to me to cut off something we are naturally born with. It costs something like $3,000 to have the foreskin restored surgically. Or you can do painful stretches with an apparatus. Doctors shouldn't even suggest circumcision, and should in fact discourage this practice. Losing the right to choose when it comes to your genitals is awful. Sounds like somebody owes me $1,000. Simple solution: ban circumcision for minors. If you want to make that choice as an adult, go right ahead. Husband is cut. I feel bad he lost the choice. I am pregnant with a son and we refuse to circumcise. Every boomer we have mentioned it to gets upset and defensive. Says it's not big deal. Mom tells me that he'll struggle keeping it clean at 90 and get infections. You name it. We have heard it. I was born in England and my mum wanted so bad for me to be circumcised. But because we weren't Jewish and there was no medical reason for it, all the doctors refused to do it. She married an American in the Air Force when I was 8. And moved us all to America. And it was one of the first things she arranged when we got there. To this day she swears that it was doctors in America who convinced her it was medically necessary. I'll never forget the agonizing pain of that first piss. Absolutely no reason for it to be done. America does seem as though it got caught under some weird spell on this one. It's genital mutilation and they profit from it and use the foreskins in their products. It is a money scam for hospitals. You can do the math on how many males are born at each hospital. I used to be salty my parents didn't get me cut, but now I thank God they didn't, loudly crying. There is no reason for it. And should only be a corrective or elective surgery. Performing genital mutilation on infants on such a wide scale is insane. Especially because there must be constant complications and medical accidents. I'm an intacticist from back in the day. I even believe in the Sky Wizard. There was no way. Not with a gun to my head. Not prison time that I was circumcising my son. My husband was adamant. I just told him I'll run away and divorce you before he is even born. People shamed me. The hospital pushed it. But I stayed firm. Genital mutilation is and always has been child abuse. If my son regrets me not having him circumcised, he can choose it as an adult for himself. Worse procedure. I know. But it's his body, not mine. Yeah, I want mine back, please. Tell M grow me another foreskin in a lab and reattach it. I am super passionate about this topic, and if I hear another mother jackalope say it's more dirty, I are gonna scream. I am cut. That never should have never happened. Ever. Circumcising babies for non-medical issues is abuse. And any who endorse this abuse are human trash. God does not want that. Specific groups convinced others to do it. There are religions and cultural groups that also commit female genital mutilation (FGM). It's more fucked up than circumcision for multiple reasons. But circumcision in any circumstance at this point is stupid and nonsensical. That's not even to mention the part about the Orthodox Jewish communities still practicing the ceremony with the mohel sucking on the freshly cut baby's penis to clean the wound. And literally some of them have given STDs to babies. Not only is it mutilation, but it's being used and has been for centuries to facilitate pedophilic behaviors. On the religious front, it's a covenant with the Jewish. God made a covenant with them so they could be his priestly nation and a shining light to the world, bringing the knowledge of their God to the whole world. In exchange, they had to agree to circumcision as well as many other laws. For non-Jews, it was made up by the medical industry to gain more money. Same with gender-affirming healthcare. And the whole movement is also a religion. I couldn't do it to my son. All natural for him. The fact this is not torture or on the same scale as female genital mutilation is beyond me. Had this done when I was born, hurt so bad I couldn't walk for 2 years. As a woman, I truly appreciate an uncut man. I find most uncut men to be insecure about their status. But they shouldn't be. Fuck society. Let the uncut persist. Funny that now the argument is all cleanliness. I remember when I first heard about it. It was also about stopping young boys from being able to masturbate. Clearly that excuse has fallen out of favor. Yes, this is the insane shit I'm here for. So glad I never had mine removed. Great post, agree with everything you said. It's a tragedy, can't pump it like a shotgun. They took that away from me without consent. The reason why it's accepted is because our fathers and their fathers were mutilated. Thus, they don't want to admit that they mutilated their son's penis while simultaneously not wanting to admit their own penis was mutilated by their father. A vicious cycle. As for the God debate, I think the practice was coined because people were working it and the church thought that was a sin to pleasure yourself. I hear it's easier to whack with foreskin than without. It is. And I am not. And the girls are fascinated. Could we as adults sue the hospitals that did this to us? Honestly, I've got some seriously rage-filled thoughts against the one that did this to me. I don't know why circumcision was a thing before the age of Christ. Could have been for health reasons. But I don't know. That being said, Jesus didn't advocate for it. He said it's the circumcision of the heart, the one that you need, and something along the lines of circumcision or not. It makes no difference for the spirit. So yeah, anyone who preaches circumcision as a thing that God dictated is stuck in the Middle Ages and is not listening to the word of Christ. Female circumcision is absolutely a thing.